Everyone, my name is Brad with UnwiredView.com, and I'm ready to show off a cool new phone to you. It's called the Samsung Continuum. Now picture this. You are looking at your phone. You're thinking, man, you know what this needs. It needs an extra screen. One's just not enough for me. I know, it happens all the time, right? You're thinking, man, this one screen's just not doing me anything. It's not doing any good. Well, Samsung Continuum is going to give you that little extra screen that you've been yearning for. Check it out. So you have the main screen, and you have the extra little thrown in. Because think about it this way, you're paying $200 for a new phone. There's a lot of phones out there that only have one screen, but this one for $200 gives you two. It's like, who does that? It's like one of those infomercials where they just say, and if you call in the next 10 minutes, we're going to throw in an extra screen for you. That's what the Samsung Continuum is all about. What is that bottom screen, you ask? Well, I'm gonna just prolong the mystery and the suspense for you. It's gonna captivate you. We're gonna find out next on this review. In all of its glory, may I present to you the Samsung Continuum. This little phone here has a 3.4-inch Super AMOLED screen, so it's nice and bright, as you can tell. The colors are deep, rich, vibrant, very easy to read, certainly. So just looking at this thing, it just looks gorgeous. Also going around the whole thing, just has that look and feel to it, where you got yourself a quality device. However, one thing that does kind of cheapen it a little bit is, as you can tell, there's a lot of fingerprints on here. That's because it's a glossy plastic back. So the sides and the back are all just this glossy plastic, and that's one of the things that Samsung will do from time to time. Especially with a lot of its Galaxy S phones, where as part of the design to make it look sleek and aesthetically pleasing, they end up throwing on this glossy plastic instead of going with maybe some softer materials, like maybe a rubberized or metallic back, for example. It may not look as sleek, but it certainly protects it a lot more. Now on this one here, given the kind of material that it's made of, this is definitely not something that I would be going around dropping. And it's not like you're going to go and drop your phone on purpose anyways, but frankly, it's something that you want to be careful with. Because I don't think it would just completely break on you into pieces the first time you do it, but it's definitely something that you'll want to be careful with. Now looking at the overall feel of this phone, it actually feels really good in my hand. It's a thinner, skinnier display than some of its other Galaxy S siblings, and so because of that I can grip onto it a lot easier. So even though we have this glossy plastic, it's not going to be as slippery as it would be if it's a wider screen. You can compare it with another Galaxy S phone. This one here is the Captivate. You take a look at how much wider this one is over the Continuum, and trying to hold that in my hand, it's still not bad, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could a lot more easily slip out of my hands. Whereas this one, I've got this one just for dear life. I'm not letting it go. So, wasn't that a good dramatic grip scene? That was a good grip scene, I would say. So that's a little bit about the overall feel of the phone and the design of it. So let's go into more detail though. Okay. Here is the ticker. I just activated it using the grip sensors. Grip sensors you can find on the sides, right here and right here. So essentially, just by doing the grip, just right on the bottom, the phone can tell that you are ready to use it. It's going to activate that ticker, where I can start looking at stuff. Now, right now, it has just the two screens that I can look at. Here we have the most recent messages, so I can go in there and see, okay, well, okay, that's my latest message. That was really boring. I'm glad I read that. Now, here's essentially what the ticker does. The ticker is a live update system for you. So you can update several things on a regular basis, whether it's weather. On here we've got sports, we've got text messages. Like all of this is just all together on here. And then I can go in and read all the different headlines. But we also have, of course, the date and time. I can go and press this button. It takes me into the weather bug application and I can see the latest forecasts. Now if I want to, I can start scrolling through this bottom, or through the ticker itself, and it's going to show me everything. Here's an example of the ticker and some of the cool things that it can do. Right now I'm listening to my music player, and while I'm doing this I have access to all of my controls for the music. So the most basic controls are going to be listed up front. So let's say we go in to activate the grip sensor here. Now I've got just the control. So now I can go through and I can switch around however I want. Then if I need more options, then I can just certainly hit the CD icon. Pulls up the now playing screen. I can go in and just find my other screen options. So the one that I use a lot is the equalizer, so I can go into my settings here. I got my equalizer and some extra effects and stuff like that. So that's pretty nice. And then I can just hit pause when I'm done with that. If I need to go into some of the other RSS feeds or Twitter or anything like that, then I can scroll up, hit that little guy, and it brings me to here. And then I can go through, I've got my RSS, like my ESPN, some of the latest weather. Ooh, unwired view. Hey, there we go. So we can just click on that, and this is interesting. I'm going to read the full story. If it lets me. Okay, and then it's going to pull up the browser, and I can read the article directly from there. So that's a nice little thing about the ticker, is I can just go in and see. Now, one thing about this ticker is, let's say when this headline comes up, it's actually going to pop up on the ticker itself. So even if I have it completely turned off and I get a new headline, that new headline is going to pop up there. And potentially this could be very annoying though if you have a lot of articles, a lot of feeds coming in, and especially if you have it on vibrate, man, this thing's going to be going off all the time. That's going to drive you nuts. So for me, using the ticker, I had to be very selective on some of the stuff that I put in there to use. So I had the unwired view in there, I had some of the sports headlines. So yeah, I didn't have a whole lot in there. If I want to go and read all of my other RSS feeds or Twitter, then certainly I can access that at any time with all of my other applications on the phone. And that's just it's just a nice little bonus feature in there that just keeps me even a little bit more up to date. Is having all that extra updated information coming in, streaming directly into that ticker. So that's really where it comes in handy. This is not for everything that you want to look up and read up on. It's just for some of the selective things, some of the most important things to you. So that's how I recommend you use it. So other than that, there's not much else to it than that. But we can scroll through here, find some of the other stuff. So now let's say that we are in the main ticker menu here on the main screen. Well, if I need to, I can always go into the settings itself and pull up the ticker settings. Now there's a few interesting things about this. This is where I can manage all the different applications that are accessible on the ticker. So I got my social networking, so my Facebook, Twitter, and then for the 2 people that still use MySpace, you've got that on there. Weather, of course, you saw that already on mine. RSS feeds, display settings. So this is where I can go in and I can change what kind of things are being notified on the ticker when I have the main screen turned off. I can also keep keep the grip sensor activated, or I can turn it off if I just find it really annoying or accidentally do it too many times. So let's go in. Okay, the other interesting thing is the ticker sleep time. So on this one, I can tell it, okay, I want it to stop giving me notifications at a certain time of night. Especially if I've got on vibrate or I've got the ringer on, it can get really annoying when I'm trying to sleep at 3 in the morning. So I just have the ability to turn it off and then turn it back on automatically at a certain point. Very handy little feature with the ticker, and I'm glad they included it. So overall though, with the ticker itself, it's a great idea. The big thing that I would like to see implemented though is third-party applications being able to access this ticker, because right now it's just limited to a few different things, to a few different options, and it's really not doing a whole lot of good. So if I can get some of these other apps just from the market, or any of these in here to have updates on there, I would find that incredibly handy to have. So when you look at the live ticker display on the Samsung Continuum, it's actually a pretty cool little feature. and it has a lot of potential, and I'm really hoping that Samsung will go up to bat with it and make some good use out of it, get some third-party developers in there to add in extra updates and extra compatibility with their apps. Because if they do that, then they can seriously come out with all these different ticker display phones and have it be a really cool feature on a lot of Samsung devices going on from now on. So, with that in mind, if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't go out to all these third-party developers, then frankly, this guy is a one-off device, which is still going to do some great things. But that is one thing that you're going to have to consider in your purchases if you're going to be going with the Continuum or the Fascinate or one of these other Droid phones that are out there. You definitely want to keep that into consideration. Is how much support is there going to be for the ticker? Is this all there is? This just the feeds and the social networking? If so, then, well, it's still going to be nice, but it could be so much more than what it currently is. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully Samsung will come up to bat with that and really make some good things happen with it. So the processor itself, while there might be a tiny little bit of lag, it's not really too bad. It's still a gigahertz processor after all. It still has the same great specs as any of the other Galaxy S phones. And overall, I've been a very big fan of the Galaxy S lineup. So it just happens to be a smaller display, skinnier, longer. So in terms of everything else, check out my full review at unwiredview.com. I'm going to be going through a lot of different details on things, and I definitely want to make sure that you are there reading about it, especially if you're considering the Samsung Continuum as your future phone. So check us out, unwiredview.com. My name's Brad. Thanks for watching.